Good day, viewer. You're most welcome to the Nilecast on Westnile Television, where we give you the daily news bulletins of the day every day. My name is Okumringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines. In the headlines tonight, Arua district leaders caution the general public about rabies cases. Locals in Arua City benefit from free eye care services. And Minister Raphael Magezi urges the Acholi leaders to support Parish Development Model Program. This and more in the Nilecast News Bulletin. Good day again, viewer. You're most welcome to the Nilecast on Westnile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, calls for calmness among the Christians in Luweero Diocese as the process of getting a new bishop begins due to the nullification of the elections of Reverend Canon Godfrey as the 4th Bishop of Luweero Diocese. Namoba Ivan reports more.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, has responded to the ongoing saga of the bishop-elect in Luweero Diocese on Sunday 9th July during a press briefing at the Diocese of Madi, Westnile, diocesan headquarters in Mvara. The Archbishop stated that when the diocesan seat for the bishop falls vacant, he has the mandate to take the pastoral staff on such a diocese due to the authority that has been entrusted upon him.
It's my duty as an Archbishop. Whenever a diocese falls vacant, I have to go and lead an abdication service when somebody turns 65. And then I take the pastoral staff if there is no replacement at the moment. A pastoral staff simply means that now the diocese has gone back to the Archbishop until when they have a new bishop consecrated. And nobody can do that. It is the Archbishop. The Archbishop is the chief shepherd in the province. I oversee. And when a diocese is falling vacant and there is no bishop there, I have to go and take the pastoral staff.
With alarming claims from some of the Christians in Luweero Diocese threatening to stop the Archbishop from coming to the diocese, he however stated that that doesn't stop him from coming to visit the diocese.
I was hearing that some other people were saying Archbishop shouldn't come. No, so somebody wanted to become an archbishop to take over the diocese. What? You cannot stop an archbishop to come because I have a God-given responsibility all over the country as the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda. And so I visit every church. If somebody says an archbishop shouldn't come, who will consecrate the bishop? Is the chairman of C5 becoming an archbishop to consecrate a bishop? I am the one to come with bishops. It's my work. The work of a chairperson at C5 is different, and others, like the president says, everybody has his own harubimbi. My work, I visit church, I'm not a politician. I just visit churches and do my work and go back.
The Archbishop calls for calmness in Luweero Diocese as the process of getting a new diocesan bishop begins.
Let me call upon all God's people in Luweero. Be calm. This is just temporary. That's what we do. It's the procedure. It is the protocol. It is actually the process. This is how we do it. Protocol, procedure, and what? And policy. We follow the 3 P's. Policy, protocol, and procedure for the proper process. And then very soon they will have a bishop. And there is no need for alarm because we are just religious leaders. I'm not a political leader that I'm going to come and take over. No, just to help you to. And the issue of having a bishop is a prerogative of the House of Bishops chaired by the Archbishop.
Luwero Diocese is one of the 37 dioceses in the province of the Church of Uganda, which is looking forward to getting a new diocesan bishop after the age of the Right Reverend Eridad Nsubuga clocking the mandatory age of 65 last Sunday.
Bishop Nsubuga turned 65 today, and he has to abdicate and relinquish the diocese to the Archbishop until the process is done, and then they have another bishop.
The new date for the sitting of the House of Bishops shall be communicated by the office of the Archbishop. I am Ivan Manaba, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. As the cases of dog bites reported in the West Nile region keep increasing, members of the public have been urged to rush and seek for medical assistance in case of being bitten by a dog infected with rabies. This concern follows an increase of the number of dog bite cases reported within Arua and Madiakolo district. Farish Majid reports.
Following an increase in the dog bite cases reported in the Greater Arua recently, members of the public have been asked to rush for medical assistance in time if bitten by dogs to avoid them contracting rabies. Recently, an 8-year-old girl from Madiakolo passed on as a result of rabies. The family thought it was malaria, but after several attempts of failing to treat the disease, she was brought to Arua where she died from. Dr. Nguma Willi, the Arua District Veterinary Officer, called on members of the public not to delay in reporting dog bite cases.
I like to tell the people that rabies is real. It kills. It's not a disease of emergency, but it's a disease of urgency. Whenever anybody encounters an animal that is suspected of rabies, they must report it, and the person should get urgent attention. The attention is either you are bitten. First of all, the dog should be isolated. In many cases, people have killed the dogs that bite. But the next thing is get your water, warm water with soap, plenty of water, thoroughly wash away that wound, the saliva on that wound. Because the virus that causes this disease is in the saliva of the animal. So wash away the saliva so that little dose of this virus remains in the wound. After that, please seek immediate medical attention. But many times, people just think when you treat the wound, that is all. No, you don't remain with that. Go and get advice from veterinary personnel.
As the world intends to end rabies by 2030, the members of the public have been urged to have their dogs vaccinated. This follows concern whereby 15 to 20 cases of rabies are being reported in the Greater Arua monthly. Farish Majid, Westnile TV Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Harma Hospital in Arua City has organized a free eye care camp to run from the 10th to the 13th of July 2023 as a way to fulfill its social corporate responsibility, providing eye care services to communities around the West Nile region. Take a look. As a way to fulfill its social corporate responsibility through providing eye care services to communities around the West Nile region, Hama Hospital along Kebiri Kaiko Road, Arua City, has organized a free eye care camp that will run from the 10th to the 13th of July 2023, providing eye care services like screening, diagnosis, treatment, surgery, and provision of eyeglasses at a discount rate. Lutomia Juliet, the ophthalmic clinical officer, is urging the general public to have frequent eye checkups and seek for eye care services in order to counteract chronic eye problems.
Within this camp, we've found a number of cases. So far, we've seen, on average, 100 people in the 2 days. The most common conditions have been cataract, which is the most common blinding disease. It is the most cause of blindness in Africa. To be precise, in Uganda, the people that have come, they have glaucoma, which is a silent killer of sight. Why I say it's a silent killer of sight is a patient doesn't feel any pain, they don't have any symptoms other than losing sight, At the end of the day, patients get to know that they were having glaucoma when it's too late. That's why we normally tell people they should always have frequent eye checkups. These are some of the eye conditions that can be counteracted before it is too late. That is one of the conditions that is irreversible. In simple terms, it's called pressure of the eyes. So we call upon the general public to always seek for eye care services. We also urge the public to avoid using drugs from non-professional people. Many people have become blind just because of using those traditional medications, yet these are conditions that would be worked on and people would regain their sight if they were properly handled. But because of the knowledge gap, they end up not having these services.
Male Habert, the Halma hospital manager, stated that due to the increasing number of eye care cases, the hospital has chosen to organize a free eye care camp in order to cater for communities that cannot afford eye care services.
Halma Hospital is providing a social corporate responsibility to provide eye care services for the communities around Westnile, because we have seen the need throughout our experiences working in this facility. We have seen the need, and even around the communities when we move, we find that people need eye care services. Now, due to the increase in demand for these services and people do not have where to access these services, Halma Hospital therefore decides to organize a free eye care services. Those who cannot afford are able to access quality eye care services, are able to access eye treatment and surgeries, because most people believe that eye care treatments are very expensive, they cannot afford, others don't know where to access these services, and we are therefore helping the communities by ensuring that they have a free access to their eye checkups, and at the same time free access to treatment and also glasses and other surgeries later on. These services will run basically for 4 days, from Monday 10th, that was yesterday, up to Thursday. This current event, we target to have at least 300 to 400 clients served with different eye conditions. And now when we book at least about 100 or 150 of them for cataract surgeries, we are going to get cataract surgeons who will come around, and these cataracts will be operated at a very low cost.
This eye care camp will run from the 10th to the 13th of July 2023 in Arua City. Okumaringa Christine for Westnile Television, Nilecast. And more in our stories for the evening. The Minister for Local Government, Honorable Raphael Magezi, has implored the politicians and political leaders to use the Parish Development Model Program for their success in the various constituencies so as to be voted back to the various political officers in the 2026 general elections. Stephen Okello from Gulu reports.
While addressing local at Pabo Town Council in Amuro District, the Minister of Local Government, Raphael Magezi, says leaders from Achule sub-region should support PDM for their own benefit.
Even you, the district councillors and the LCC chairpersons, if you want to be a leader in Amuro, this is your opportunity to shine. This one. Go and visit them. You got 1 million. How are you? How is everything? Did you buy the chicks? Did you buy the rice? Have you planted the maize? How are you doing? You want the market? That is the work of the leader. Follow up this money in 2026. Your life will be much easier.
Akitson Ojara, the chairman of Lamogue Sub-County, says PDM design was made to benefit the local compared to other government programs.
When we look at this program, it's more of an advantage than other government programs, because compared to web, compared to livelihood and other programs, which really involve many members. But with this PDM, it goes to a specific member among in the group, and which the benefit will be more or advantage than others.
According to Michael Lacogne, the chairman of Moro District, the success of PDM programs depends on the leaders.
We are supposed to put our eyes on hands off. As we put our eyes on hands off, it means things that is meant for local community must benefit the local community.
Some beneficiaries will be using PDM money to boost their existing project.
From my side, I think I'm going to utilize this fund very well. First of all, I already have a project that I'm through with it, and I think when this money is in place, I'm going to use it well.
While others are celebrating because the money has come in the right time.
The money which you are going to give me today, first I'm going to rent 3 acres, so that after renting 3 acres, I got a tractor, so that if tractor dig for me, so that I am going to plant dinner. So if I plant dinner 3 acres, I'm going to pay that loan without any mistake.
At least 200 people in Kilamsi of Amuro district have received 1 million each from PDM money. And the few we have spoken to are hoping to use this money for agricultural activities.
Stephen Okello for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Police in Adjumani Central Police Station in Adjumani District on the 10th of July 2023 detained the watchman of Oligo Primary School for allegation of office breaking. Onzima Allen reports.
Police in Adjumani Central Police Station in Adjumani District have on 10th of July 2023 detained the watchman of Oligo Primary School for the allegations of office breaking. Speaking to journalists this morning, Mr. Angoyo Asraf Marjan, the head teacher Oligo Primary School, said that he received call from his deputy that his office has been broken and he rushed to school, only found the office has been broken.
It's really very sad news. Since last year, I never experienced this. It only happened in the former school where I was in Amelo. The same incidents that happened. This morning when I was coming on the road, on the way, at around 6:30, my deputy head teacher called me, that is Mr. Amos, Njima Amos. He called me. He told me that, head teacher, are you on the way coming to school? I said, yes, I'm on the way coming. And then he reported to me that there is a bad incident that happened in my school. And then the first question I asked was the watchman around? Then he said, yes, watchman is around. I said, when the watchman is around, then I'm on the way coming. Indeed, I came. I found that the office is open. About 4 doors have been open. One of them is the library. They attempted the library, but the library, they found it difficult to break now the lock. They have opened my office and the DP's office. I think they use the master key. And then the second one was the office of senior woman teacher, where she kept those materials for girls. And since now they went to the office. Indeed, when we reached there, the first suspect the police detained was the watchman. That was the negligence of the duty. According to the watchman, he told me that he actually was taken up by sleep. He don't know what had happened exactly. So as I talk now, he's in the police under the custody, and here the police, they're investigating now the matter with the thumb print.
The matter has been reported to police, where the police scene of crime visited the school. Only that found the padlock was in the watchman's room. Mr. Madrama Sevilla, a resident of Pakondo Anjo village, a watchman of the school, has been apprehended to police, where he is detained in the police. Reporting for Westnile TV, Onjima Alan, Adjumani, Nilecast.
And more in our stories for the evening. Local council leaders in Vura Sub-County Arua District have appealed to the general public to invest in Vura Sub-County so that the area can grow faster. This appeal was made during the launch of Azile Guest House, a private business investment established in Vura Sub-County, Vura Constituency, Arua District, that took place on Saturday, the 8th of July, 2023. Osuta Yusuf reports. During a launch of Azile Guest House, a private business investment established in Vura Sub-County, Vura constituency in Arua district on the 8th of July 2023, the local leaders in the area have appealed to the general public to invest in Vura Sub-County, Arua district so that the area can grow faster.
0, 3, 2, 1 and 0! Officially. 3, 2, 1 and 0!
The Chief Executive Officer, Atibo Charles, who narrated his ordeal on how he started with the business before arriving at this investment, stated that he was inspired by his friends to venture into investment, specifically in construction.
The middle people of Sudania, Yamudo, ready to I'm ready to see my dead, Yamudo, Tima Fuzi, Matima Fuzi, then when time of the beginning, landing on Fuzi, then maybe there, market as my dinner, and one managed to see about my singing gun. As also, so none of that, the America, my dear manager, so to see a lot of that. Then I can tell the money, try, also money, as well, the from the Mujola, job, you know, see that the house room, was a room, it's like this house room. In the rest, I take a plan, president. Then we make a money, make a success, and sure that I can this is what I and then all the man water, when I man, I can help him, I don't see a fellow. We are one of our major roads up. I think to support that message. So, really, in case city Tabiamo Yamo. Then you tell my baby, see, they can only come and tell it out. They don't get all socks, they can enjoy me. You come and tell your my apple, and then stop it. But if you still the dog and come and keep it.
The LC3 chairperson for Vura Sub-County, Honorable Joel Parido, thanked the CEO of the facility for investing in Vura Sub-County, which is generating employment for the locals and also revenue for the government.
I want to say that this guest house will provide employment for our youths in the area of bartendant, at the same time also working in the as cleaners, maybe as also cashiers. It has provided employment to our youth in this community. At the same time, as a government, they will also be paying revenue to us, which will also help us to improve on service delivery, on top of roads, all these other sectors which will be more benefiting the activity to the community. I really call for more investors to come to Sub-County, so that we can develop our area.
Osuta Yusuf and Kumaringa Christine for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
Welcome to the Nilecast Sports News with me, Owen Ezaga. And in our sports news today, Barifa Stadium has been vandalized by unknown community members in the recent days. Arua Hill Sports Club Chairman Engineer Aita invested in the Barifa Stadium in the infrastructural development so as for Arua Hill Sports Club to host their home games. With the Uganda Premier League yet in a break, there has been no activity taking place in the Barifa Stadium, which has given the advantage to the vandalization. Let's have more from the compiled stories.
We are at Arua Hill's home ground, Barifa Stadium. Barifa Stadium was developed and brought to lively. Developments were put in place, infrastructures, but where right now we are is Barifa Stadium in a sorrow state. If you look at the left-hand side of the pitch, you would see that the gate on the left-hand side has been vandalized. We are not sure of who has done this, but it is stated to be that a lot of people coming in here doing the destruction. The first destruction started with the taking off of the fences that were put here, and it was by the iron sheets that were put besides to fence the pitch. But if you look onto inside, you would witness that even the perimeter fence has been destroyed. The perimeter fence has been cut. Remember, this perimeter fence had barbed wires, squared, and of course they had metallic bars that were put in this. Now, looking onto the dressing room gates, doors and windows have also been demolished. We are not certain where this has gone. If you look at the pit latrines that were put, or the health facilities that were put in place to make sure that this club still works, the iron sheets on top of the roof have also been taken off. You would see that the iron sheets on top of the dressing room are also very soon to be taken. Who are doing this is what we're asking, and how is this? Now the question comes onto, can Arua Hill Sports Club do the same development for the 2023-2024 season? Remember, the games for the Star Times Uganda Premier League starts in September according to the Federation of Uganda Football Association. Shall this get all this development ready? Shall this impress the club chairman to do something again? That is the question of 1,000 people in this very region of West Nile. Now the question still comes to, is Arua Hill ready to participate in the Star Times Uganda Premier League come 2023-2024? Or is Arua Hill still going to be using the same Barifa Stadium for this 2023-2024 season? That is the question we have to dig deeper into.
This vandalization started when the team was still around playing football. You'll have people will come at night trying to take down the iron sheets and things like that. But since they are taking most of the iron sheets, one side of the whole pitch has been taken off. After the final games we played in Uganda Premier League, we decided to remove the whole perimeter fence and keep it aside. Because if we had left the perimeter fence like that, they will have collected the whole perimeter fence, maybe sold it as a scrap. So the perimeter fence is there. It is just for us to take it back and install it, and then find a way of trying to patch back the iron sheets that were vandalized. But for the perimeter fence, it's still there. And also we decided to remove the door of the two dressing rooms and keep it aside, because those are their main targets. So we also tried to be strategic a bit, hoping that we shall install back the perimeter fence before the deadline, and we shall be at the safer side. Yeah, that is what we had planned, because their target was to take away those main huge metals. It makes for them money. So we decided to take those ones away. I thought actually they had taken the two doors, but I think all those doors, most of those doors have been removed, including the bigger side of the gate, just to keep them safe. We had security there. There was a mini barracks that side. The army helped us so much, but since they vacated that place, it has been difficult to maintain that place without that security. And we have tried our best to write to get these people back to have the mini barracks, but it has been in vain. You know, it is also kind of costly. The club is also incurring other costs. So it has just been more like a risk-taking. Since now we have incurred costs before, we are into other costs. We need to sign players, we need to renew some contracts and so on. And then also you have people vandalizing. But now the people doing this need to think about themselves. What is the importance of doing this? Do you want football out of Westnile? So they need to also now think about us and think about the young boys in football. They need to think about Westnile TV. If we don't have such content like football around, the TV does not well operate. So we work hand in hand. So everyone needs to think about this. It is for the community. So my key strategy will be, one, the people who are doing that need to stop it. This is what I can tell them. I'm just begging them. They need to stop that. Secondly, we shall, in the shortest period of days, we shall make sure that we at least have a security there up to when the league will kick off, and then we have a general meeting with the security body of Arua to see that that place becomes a safe place again. We are going to host games there. We are going, because the main thing there is just getting the perimeter fence back, install it, then fix some of those iron sheets. The surface is okay. The dressing room is there, the toilets are there, the rest of the things that the licensing needs are there.
And in other stories, the third edition of the FUFA Odilo Cup is underway, and 7 teams are representing and competing to represent Arua City in the regional level. Farish Majid reports.
The third edition of the Odilo Cup tournament is underway at the Salim Saleh grounds in Arua City, with 7 teams ready competing to represent Arua City at the national and regional levels. This year, the tournament is meant for children below the age of 14 years, unlike the previous editions, which targeted children below the age of 16 years. Among the schools participating in this year's challenge include Oasis Primary School, Brightview, St. Paul Jaco, E-Class, Modo Islamic, Al-Bab Quranic School, Onduparaka Primary School, and Arua Public Primary School, represented by a girls team only. Some of the coaches who have brought their schools to participate in the tournament are optimistic that their schools will emerge victorious. Jamal Nasur, the head coach of Brightview Primary and Nursery School, who are the defending champions, says all they want is to retain the trophy.
Concerning my team, which I've just tried to prepare for this year, I have trust in them. As a coach, every coach's mandate, target is always there, but my target is to see that if I can retain the trophy back to the school.
Meanwhile, Olema Hamza, from the debutant participants, E-Class Islamic Nursery and Primary School, is also optimistic that his side will put a tight competition.
So it is our first time to come and play as E-Class Islamic Center Primary School. It is going to be our first experience in Odilo. We respect the likes of Oasis and Brightview because they have ever represented us into national and international system. So we respect them, and it is a football. Football is a game of challenge. I'm expecting a lot of things which I will get as a challenge from their side, and I'll put it as positive or negative on my side to make the team. But to the teams also, let them not see us as an underdog. It is going to be a tough challenge, whereby we have already assembled the team to compete. We are here a competitor, not a participant in this tournament.
However, Apang Rashid, the interim chairman of Arua City Football Association, appealed to the schools to embrace the competitions, since it's one way of exposing talent.
This is a very big exposure for the children, for the schools, because imagine if you qualify and then you go up to East Africa. That is a very good exposure for the schools. Schools like Oasis, they have gone very far in this tournament. That's why they always want to be there in the tournament.
Kids competitions and tournaments in this region have always played a great role in identifying and shaping talent. Farish Majid, Westnile TV Nilecast.
And lastly, in our sports news, FUFA Super 8 pre-season tournament returns. After 3 years in limbo, the FUFA Super 8 pre-season tournament is set to be back ahead of the 2023-2024 season. The competition hasn't been played since 2021, but the football governing body confirmed its return in an email to the concerned clubs. Unlike the previous edition, which saw only top 6 teams in the top division and the 2 newly promoted sides from the FUFA Big League, the 2023 edition will be played by the top 8 in the 2022-2023 UPL campaign. KCCA in 2018, Vipers in 2019 are the previous winners over the tournament. The expected teams to participate in the 2023 edition are Viper Sports Club, Maroons Sports Club, Arua Hill Sports Club, KCCA FC, Bull Football Club, Sports Club Villa, Wachiso Giants, and URA. In the 2019, the winners received a cash prize of 20 million, but FUFA is yet to reveal the amount in prize money for the 2023 edition. With that marks at the end of our sports news in the Nilecast live on Westnile TV. My name is Owen Ezega. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Owen Ezaga, for that sports update. And with that, viewer, we've come to the end of the Nilecast on Westnile Television. Thank you for being with us from the beginning of the Nilecast to the end of the Nilecast, only on Westnile Television. Please stay tuned to the rest of the subsequent programs that may follow. My name is Okumuringa Christine. Have a good day.